dance. My name's Rich, I'm your publicity officer, and today I'd like to give you a bit of an idea of what this society is about. Ballroom and Latin dance is of course a partnered sport, and you can guess that we have been struggling somewhat in these challenging times. Most of us have partners who live separately to us, and many of us haven't been able to see them for a very long time unless we've been fortunate enough to form a social bubble. So you'll see quite a lot of us dancing in fairly limited spaces. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up for you today in this video. We've got some demonstrations from some of our society members, a little bit of a dance lesson from our president, and an introduction from our professional Latin coach, Terry Denny. Along with this, we'll be answering some of your questions, and we've got some testimonials from our society members about why you might want to join a society like Balance. What could you get out of joining dance as an adult? So we're going to attempt to answer that question for you and give you all an idea of what you can expect from the live stream. Now that you've had a bit of a taste of what we do, here's our President Beth to take you through a basic cha-cha.
So I'm just going to go over the fundamental basics of a cha-cha-cha if you were to join ballads as a beginner. So, for partner dancing we have leads and followers. Stereotypically leads are for guys and followers are for girls, but obviously this doesn't really matter. You dance wherever you want to when you feel comfortable. But if you are a lead, our hold, we have our left hand up, we hold our follower in this hand, and our right hand will go around their back, towards the edge of their back. And then this will just be the other way around as a follower. So our right arm would be up, and obviously this is mirroring. Our right arm would be up, and our left hand would be round their back in the same way. This is for Latin. And if I move on to our feet, if I start as a lead, our first step will be a step forward into what we call a check position. So we go here. This is when our back heel is raised, but our front heel is down and our knees are together. So our first step will be forward on 2, then we replace 3, and then this is what we call cha-cha-cha. We go side, close the feet and change weight, side. Cha-cha-cha. Now here we take a step backwards into a backwards check. So our back heel is down and our front heel is lifted. Then we'll replace the weight and do cha-cha-cha the other way. Side, close the feet, change weight, side. And that's it. Now for far, exactly the same. We're just going backwards first instead of forwards, so that we slot together in a nice kind of dancing. So we'll start on our other leg, and our right leg will go into our backwards check. Heel down, replace, cha, 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 forward, 2, 3, cha, cha, cha. And once you've mastered beginner dancing, you'll be ready for a competition.
We'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our professional Latin coach, Kerry Dennehy. We'll be answering a few questions for you.
Hi there, my name is Kerry Dennehy and I am the professional Latin coach for the Birmingham University's Ballroom and Latin American Dance Society. I began competing at the age of 7 and retired from my competitive career in my mid-20s, becoming a United Kingdom closed professional Latin American finalist. I achieved a number of championship titles nationwide, such as All England Latin American Champion, English Closed Latin American Champion, Welsh Open to the World Latin American and Ballroom Champion, Northwest Masters Latin Champion, Rising Star Amateur Latin Champion twice, as well as competing internationally, representing England as the #1 representative at the World Amateur Latin Championships in Singapore, as well as being part of Team GB in the 10 Dance Championships representing our country in San Francisco. I also represented our country at both the International Latin Championships in France as well as the World Championships in France. I'm also very proud to have achieved United Kingdom closed Latin American final placings in youth, amateur and professional. Why did I begin dancing? Well, from a young age I loved music, and as soon as any music played or there was a chance to dance, I was probably the first one up moving. My parents knew straight away that dance was something that I wanted to do, and I was only aware of ballet. I mean, most people in the society know that I'm quite short in height, so my parents knew that ballet, no matter how good I would have been, might have been quite a short shelf life for me. And I happened upon an Australian film called Strictly Ballroom, and I fell in love with Scott Hastings and all the glitter and the feathers and the rhythms, and it was all I wanted to do. And my parents searched really hard for a local dance school, and magically we found one. And I walked into my first class at the age of 6, and that was it. I was absolutely hooked. What has dance given me? Well, what hasn't dance given me? It's really difficult to explain what dance has given me and gives to people. It's all an individual, personal experience, but for me, it's given me opportunity, it's given me confidence in myself, it's brought me friendships, it's brought me memories. So many things I have experienced and I'm thankful for because of dance. People in my life, experiences I've had, becoming the person that I am today is all down to dance. I felt like I could express myself, there were no restrictions. I just enjoyed every element of it. I then began to find a way to express myself. I was actually quite a quiet child and I'm quite a shy individual normally. And for me, dance gave me a way of meeting people and finding a confidence and finding more about myself. It gave me an open door to actually speak to other people, which I still to this day sometimes find really difficult. But when I'm around dance, I can speak to anybody. And it's something that gave me a lot of confidence in life, and I was able to actually be myself. It gave me a great opportunity to meet some amazing, diverse people, travel the world and see places that I never thought that I would get to see, and just be inspired by fantastic artists and coaches within the industry. Why should an adult learn to dance? Well, why not? It's a great way to keep fit, both physically and mentally. But aside from that, it's a great way to meet new people, it's a great way to challenge yourself and to learn a new skill. And for me, it's been the best way to meet a fantastic range of people. Because when you dance, it doesn't matter what skin colour you have, what gender you are, what religion you are, your sexual orientation. It's just a great bunch of people who all love to have dance in their lives, having fun. My advice to newcomers, don't think that you have to get things right the first time you try it. We don't always get it right the first time that we try. Don't give up. Ask questions, questions are okay. Speak to people, don't be afraid to speak. Everyone within the society is really lovely. Do as much or as little as you want to, and most importantly, keep it fun, because once it's not fun, what's the point of doing it?
We hope that you've now got a bit more of an idea of what ballroom and Latin dance is about, and that you may even be considering joining ballads. To conclude, we're going to get the opinions of some of our members. This is it from me. I'd like to thank you for watching, and hope to see you in one of our classes soon.
I think that everyone should dance, really, regardless of what age you are. You know, it's never too late to start. You meet loads of fantastic new people through dancing. You can meet your, significant other. You can meet new friends. You can meet anyone.
I think you should start dancing as an adult, because as you get older and you get more responsibilities, with academic work, or even if you're working, it's a nice pastime to have.
You should start learning to dance as an adult because it teaches you self-discipline and teamwork in ways that other team sports don't allow you to do. Because you're a team of two, so you're working with one person relatively closely for however many hours you decide to put into it. And so you can develop really good interpersonal skills that will actually be really good in future career opportunities. And dancing as an adult can be a really good way if you're looking for something to keep you fit and healthy but hate slogging away in the gym, or you just don't enjoy exercise. Like if you're a musical person, if you just love to move to music, then you're exercising without realising it 99% of the time.
It teaches you a lot about communication, about sustaining healthy relationships. And through the errors and the successes you have, you'd learn to adopt a growth mindset, and also like most importantly, it's just an escape for responsibility.
It's never too late to start dancing.
Well, I agree. I started almost 2 years ago now, and I've made some amazing friends and had some amazing experiences. And you learn so much about yourself as a person by dancing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Even if I started dancing very early on in my life, I still think it doesn't matter when you start dancing. It's more about enjoying it and taking it as much as you can from it.
I think the biggest thing for me is that it's this incredible form of stress relief. When you're at university or whatever it is that you're getting up to, there's so much going on. There always is. That's the joy of it, really. But it's so nice for an hour a day, an hour a week, or whatever it is, to just go and think about your dancing and think about nothing else, and just have that time that's separate, and focus on that. And because you're learning to use your body in a totally different way, it really does take your mind off things, because you are totally focused on what you're doing in that moment. So for me, the biggest thing is definitely the stress release. But also it's such a great way to meet new people, particularly with ballroom and Latin dancing. You have that partner, so you have that connection that you have to build, because you're both learning to dance for the first time. So it's a great way to meet new people, make new friends, and I think that's one of the absolute best bits about dancing.
It's something new, something different that gives you a relief from the pressure of your work, your social life. It's a real family that you can't find anywhere else. You fall in love with it.
I'd never really heard of ballroom and Latin dancing before coming to university. I thought I'd go along to one of the taster sessions on the welcome week and see what it was all about. 1 year later, I've met some great friends who I can't wait to see again this year and dance alongside in the future.
My parents actually made me start dancing because they just knew when I was a kid that I loved it, and I liked ballet when I was younger. But my brother started ballroom and Latin, and my parents knew that I'd love it, so they just dragged me along, and I hated it for weeks. But then I fell in love with it. I overcame my shyness. It's just really good personal growth.
So I started dancing because I found I wasn't really interested in the dance, if I'm honest, but I was interested in meeting a lot of people. And so I thought, what better way to do it than to come to a society where there are lots of people. And actually I came to the people and I stayed because of the dance as well as the people.
To be fair, I don't feel like I've chosen dance. I think sort of my parents took me to some dance classes just to give me something to do, but I think I've just enjoyed it so much that it was just something I really liked.
For me, obviously I hadn't danced when I was a child, but I always thought that ballroom dance was something I ought to know how to do. And so I started dancing at university when I came back, and I carried on. I probably achieved my goal. I know how to dance now, but it kind of keeps doing it.
I did do some dancing when I was younger, so I did ballet, but I found it very tricky and found the steps hard to learn, as I felt they had to be perfect straight away. So I was nervous to learn a whole new style of dancing. But the ballroom and Latin beginning routines were much easier to pick up than I expected, as the routines were broken down to chunks and we had the time to practice them as we needed, and we could slowly work on the basic steps and improve them over time.
I started dancing when I was 12 years old, and my parents had started learning. When they couldn't find a babysitter, I'd be copying along in the corner. They started giving me lessons, and I've never looked back since.
I always have danced. I've done ballet since I was absolutely tiny, but by the time I'd come to university I'd sort of fallen out of love with that. I definitely knew I wanted to try something new, but I also wanted to dance. I've grown up watching Strictly my entire life. I've always loved it, and so when I saw that Birmingham had a ballroom and Latin society, I thought that was an absolute no-brainer. It's just been a really lovely way to try a different form of dance, and try something I've always wanted to do, essentially, so that's the best bit for me.
I started dancing. I danced all my life, but I'd only done ballet, and I just thought, well, it's a good opportunity to try something new, so I took up ballroom dancing, and the rest is history.
I started dancing when I was 7 years old, because my mum and my grandma used to watch Strictly on the TV, and apparently I was watching it one day and just said, I'd like to try that, so I did.
I started competing in ballroom and Latin when I was 11, and I didn't know what to expect at all. Never heard of anything. It was my only experience of dance was Strictly, so it's a bit of a shock for someone that young, but obviously you fall in love with it, and it's such an amazing thing to do, and you can really appreciate it as you get older.
Actually, no. I didn't expect competitive dance to be as challenging as it is. I thought that all you had to do was learn the routines, and as long as you remember them, you'll be fine. But actually, it's not quite like that. There's so many things you need to take into consideration. There's timing, there's footwork, there's posture, there's the way you present yourself, there's your technique. And like more often than not, like this can go wrong, and sometimes like the results you get at competitions aren't a true reflection of how well you can dance, and they can be quite disappointing. Another thing I didn't expect from competitive dance is how much I actually learned about myself, how much I learned to let go, to relax, to have fun, to know that it's not the end of the world if I don't do well at the dance competition.
So I had no idea what to expect when I went to my first competition, and I'd been dancing about 4 weeks, and suddenly you had to get on the floor in front of 3 judges. Needless to say, I didn't get anywhere, I didn't get marks, I didn't get through any rounds. But I suppose what I didn't expect it to be like was to be as fun as they were. And certainly on the university competitions, there's a lot of camaraderie, there's a lot of cheering and supporting your team, and it's a really fun experience that I can't quite describe.
I think competitions are one thing or another. Like you can always expect them to be one way, but you never really know which way it will be. I think, like Richie said, the most important part is for competitions to be fun. Like you get the support of everyone, and everybody has a great time. But then you also have the competitive side of things, which you think, oh yeah, it's all about competing, it's all about winning. But sometimes you have to learn to lose as well.
Yeah, I think that's very true. If you go in expecting to win, then you'll be disappointed.
And it's not always the case, oh, you always win or you always lose. I think it's important to just enjoy what you have, see what you can learn from, and just have a great time.
The simple answer is it's way better. I decided to compete, so I was a total beginner when I started ballroom and Latin dance, and in my first year I decided to compete on a whim really. I hadn't planned to do it, it wasn't even really on my radar, then it was mentioned and I thought why not, why not give something new a go, and it's just been such a welcoming and relaxed atmosphere. Any competition you go to, like your whole team is there cheering you on. Everyone, no matter what level they are, is willing to help you try to get better, help you remember those steps or whatever it is that you're struggling with.
It's everything that I expected and more. You can't replace that buzz of adrenaline that you feel as you walk onto the floor and perform. When I was competing in the open circuit, everybody's striving to do their best, but on the uni circuit, it's such a community and so supportive. Everybody is cheering everybody on. The atmosphere is irreplaceable.
I had no idea what competitive dance was going to be like, but it's more than I ever thought it would be. It's got absolutely everything involved, and it's like strictly 10 times.
So I've done competitions for most of my life, so I sort of knew what they would involve, but what I would say is that university competitions are like way more fun than anything I've ever done before. Like there's so much going on.
1, 2, 3, there you go. It isn't very easy, but I told you so.